Two, one, we're live. Hey, ¿qué tal, amigos? What's up, guys? My name is Marco. I'm a grateful, naturalized citizen to the United States of America. And Donald Trump's my president. Today's a special day. We have a great guest. We have somebody that has had it with the state of politics here in California. And his name is Diego Martinez. Diego, so you are a naturalized citizen as well, right?
Yes, I am. I became a citizen in 2008.
So I became a U.S. citizen in 2003. So we share that same walk. You know, we walk the path for citizenship, and something that I talk about whenever I go to events. It's about when you take an oath. You know, it's a very that moment when you become a citizen. And you know, and how grateful most naturalized citizens and immigrants are to be part of this great nation. And you're gonna see that a lot of us are great patriots because we are pissed because they're trying to take away what was given to us, right? The liberal left is trying to destroy America as the promised land that is for us. What do you think about that?
You know what's funny, Marcos, is that we come here. We come from different countries. We come from different parts of the world. And why do we come to America? For freedom, for the ability to do better for our family, and for freedom of choice. Because we know that in our countries, we don't have that choice. And we come here, and they're taking that away from us. And little by little, we're allowing them to do it. So I call it a revolution. It is time to come to a revolution and stop these people from taking our rights away. I mean, here in California, it's crazy. Our rights are being taken away every day, and we're allowing it. I mean, why do we come here? We came to be free, but we're going backwards. We're going to these third world countries where if we wanted to be there, we would have stayed there. I mean, we're here to live the American dream, the dream of freedom and choice, and that's getting taken away from us.
You know, I met my wife in high school. And I came to Eniac, California in 1991, and I saw that middle class neighborhood that she lived in, and I fell in love with this country. I had my first slice of pizza here, actually, my first root beer float. I went to the drive-in with her, and I fell in love with America. And now you're right that the American dream that I was able to attain is being taken away. And one of my slogans is defending the American dream. And really, because I'm in real estate. So for a long time, I helped a lot of people achieve the American dream through buying a house. And I saw how hard people work to get the American dream. But then when everybody started losing their homes in 2009, that's when I saw that some people's American dream is to take your American dream. And that was Obama. So that kind of woke me up and say something's going on here.
How can we come here and in your case, like you're just saying, buy a house, we're living the dream, we're having everything that we want, and then it gets stripped away from us and the government doesn't want to help us. And all of a sudden it's like they do more stuff to keep us down. Our taxes are through the roof. They're trying to re-push Prop 13. Now they first started with the house, now they're trying to go to small businesses. So if you came here and your American dream is to own a small business and be able to provide for your family, that's getting stripped away. We need to stand up. We need to stop a lot of these propositions that are going because they're not helping the small business people, the common workers like we are. I mean, when you look at career politicians, when do they get up every morning and go to work? When have they had to go mow somebody's lawn? I mean, I was 13 years old mowing people's lawns in the morning. I remember getting up at 5 in the morning, putting the lawnmowers in the back of the truck, the blower, the garbage cans, and here we go to work on Saturday morning, right? And you're mowing everybody's lawns, and you move from that, you know, and you have a small business and you're trying to grow. I mean, come on, we have got to stand up for these career politicians and say enough's enough. That's why I'm running for governor. I am tired of the career politician. I've gone to work, lavar platos, I've been a cook, trabajé en un molino madera, which is a lumber mill. I you know, and I built my own business. I've also worked at big corporations and big companies, big car dealerships. So I understand what it's like to run a big company. I also understand what it's like to run a small business and be thinking, where's the next dollar coming from? And then the government's trying to tax you more. It's like, stop taxing us, help us build, help us employ people. I mean, we have got to make a difference.
So where does your passion come from? When did you wake up and you say, you know what, somebody has to do this? You said something yesterday when we spoke that when you said that, I almost say, you know what, this guy got my vote. You said you were going to go to the flea market. And in my message, I've been trying to get candidates to go to the flea market, to go to where people are. You know, and in fact, if you do it, I want to go there and stream it.
So not this Sunday, not this week, but next week, we're going to be at the El Dorado Flea Market in Stockton, California. I'm going to get a booth. We're going to stand in the back of the flea market outside. So it's an open and closed air flea market. It's on El Dorado Street in Stockton, California. We're going to be there. I'm going to put a booth up. I'm going to put a microphone, and we're going to talk to everybody. You know why? You're going to laugh. And I remember this after we got off the phone. It's going back to when I was about 6 or 7 years old. We had just came to the United States. My mom married a guy, and he used to sell women's dresses at the flea market. And I started laughing when we got off the phone. I said, I'm going back to where all this started. We're going back to when I was 6, 7 years old, going to the flea market and watching a little booth of this guy selling women's dresses. And guess what? I remember the hot chocolate when you ran into the flea market and got the 50-cent cup of hot chocolate at 3 o'clock in the morning because you were there setting up the booth. I started laughing. I'm like, I'm going back to my roots, to where I came from. You know what? Because that's where we started, whether we like it or not. That's my first experience in the United States, was going to this flea market, the same flea market I'm talking about, the one on El Dorado Street in Stockton. And I'm going there. And the reason I'm going there is porque the Hispanic population doesn't get that involved in politics, and they don't get that involved is because they don't get in touch with the candidates. They don't know us. But when they get to know me, they know that I grew up just like they did. I'm telling you, we used to sell clothes at the flea market. I was 6, 7 years old. That's how my mom's husband at the time, that's what he did. And we'd go from one flea market to another. And it's funny because we talked about going to the flea market. I'm remembering that, you know, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do the same thing. 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to go set up a booth, set up a PA system, and we're going to talk to everybody. I don't care what party you belong to. Okay, I'm a Republican. Donald Trump is my president. I voted for Donald Trump, but I voted for him primarily. He's not a politician. He was a businessman. And the United States is a business, and look what he has done. The one thing I disagree with, I don't want to say Latinos unemployment's down, Black unemployment, Asian. I want to be able to sit here in a year or 2 years from now after I get elected to be governor and say, hey, Marcos, remember the conversation we had? Guess what we achieved? Californian unemployment rate is at its lowest. Forget what color, what race, what nationality you are. We are Californians. And united, we're going to get there. And me and you are going to sit here a year after I'm in office, and we're going to have this conversation. I guarantee you that.
The thing is that a lot of people are disconnected, especially our governor. He's so disconnected with his people. And the vote of these people at the flea market is worth just as much as the vote of anybody. And I think that if you start talking to them, if you just give them the microphone and you listen to what they have to say, all these people, they have an opinion, and they can tell you how to fix things here in California, because they're the ones that are going to fix it. We just have to facilitate that, right? California should be red. If you're able to pick up all these Mexican Americans here in California, which is a big percentage of the state, and they participate and they embrace their principles and their culture, I mean, this should be red. I don't see why this is blue.
It's blue because nobody's ever educated us the difference between what the Democrat and what a Republican Party is. And everywhere we go, everybody tells us, you got to be a Democrat. You're Latino, you have to be a Democrat. So you were talking about when you became a U.S. citizen. I did it in 2008. I was already working at car dealerships. I was already a general manager. And I remember in Sacramento, you go to get your oath done. And when you get out of your oath, you have to stand in a line, and you're standing in a line, and there's Democrats there with their voting. Here, come vote, you need a vote. I remember looking at the person. I said, no, I got to go vote with the Republicans. I'm somewhat of a business owner. I know where my tax dollars are going. And they looked at me like, but you're Hispanic. I said, yes, I know. But I like to
That's
keep all
why.
my money. I like tax cuts. I want to be the guy that has money in the bank. So they were surprised. But what surprised me more was that three of us went to the Republican Party. The rest of us, and there was about 150 people that day, went to the Democratic Party. And the reason that is because Democrats are selling this thought that they're giving you something. You know, we as Latinos or immigrants, and I'm not just talking about Hispanics, I'm talking about people that come from China, Cambodia, anywhere that you come from, Cuba. We come here for a better living. We don't come here for a handout. Stop insulting us. Stop telling us that we're mooching. Stop telling us that we're sucking the life out of the system, because we're not. We are hardworking people. We come to this country to work. We just want an opportunity to work. And Marcos, God willingly, I make it in Sacramento. We're going to change and we're going to reform immigration, and everybody's going to be here legally. Everybody's going to be here to work. And I'm not talking about giving anything away. I'm talking about we've earned it. These people have earned the right to be here. They've earned the right for somebody to help them reform immigration so they can be here legally and not have to worry about it. That's what
Right.
I'm about. Reform immigration, tax cuts for the American people, for the Californian people. We can make California great again. We, as a unit.
You know, somebody yesterday told me, "Hey, Marco, I really enjoy the pictures you post of your wife and your kids, and I post a lot of my personal stuff, and I post a lot about tacos and a lot of Latin American food and Mexican food." And I told him, "You know why I do that? I do that because I want to show people that I am an immigrant, and that I am a productive citizen of society, and that if you give an opportunity to other people, like they gave to me, you're gonna have a lot of people like me, the people that want to be of service, people that want to succeed in this country, that want to achieve the American dream, and that want to share that with others." And it kind of makes sense for that person, because we need to be the bridge. I'm also a little bit tired about my son having a last name Gutierrez, and people just him having that stigma of that person that came here and didn't take the opportunity like I did, and decided to make bad choices, you know, and you have a lot of criminal activity going on a lot of immigrants, and we need to deal with that. We need to deal with the border so that these people can trust that a lot of these people that are eligible, willing, and ready to be part of this country, they can something can, maybe a work permit or something that would just legalize their presence here, so they don't have to have that stigma of being illegal. You know, I can just imagine a teenager out there, a millennial, having his parents being illegal, and hearing all this bad stuff about people that are illegal, all this bad stuff that illegals do, but only the bad ones. There's a lot of great, hardworking people that are doing great things for this country. So those kids, the kids of those people, if they're stigmatized like that, they're gonna vote Democrat because the Democrats lied to them.
Well, Marcos, and we talked about this a little bit yesterday. So I'm going to hit the flea market because that's where our people are, first of all. Second of all, they need to understand that I'm going to be their voice. Their voices will be heard in Sacramento. My immigration reform program is to help everybody get a work permit. That gives us 3 years. So that gives us 3 years to make sure that these people are the right people that we want in our country, in our state. But during those 3 years, they start paying their taxes just like everybody else. So that allows me to lower the California state tax. Okay, they're going to help the economy in that way, but we're also going to know who is in our country, who is in our state, and we want to make sure that the right people are here. But they will earn their way to being a green card holder. I am tired of people having to worry about, is immigration going to come and get me today? We talk about DACA. DACA is a fake security blanket that they have given these people, because the DACA program can be swept away from them at any moment. We talk about sanctuary cities, sanctuary states. What is that? That is another false security that they give these people so they think they're free. They're not, because the federal government exceeds your state government. That means if you commit a federal crime, the federal government can come and grab you. If you're here illegally, they can come and grab you. Let's stop that. Let's secure our borders, because I believe that we need to secure our borders, but I also believe that we need to help the people who are here doing right be able to make it easier for them to be legal here, get a work permit. Let's start with a work permit. Let's work them to getting a green card. And then if they choose, let's help them become a U.S. citizen. My mom came here from Uruguay when she was 31 years old. She is a green card holder, and it breaks my heart that every 10 years, they suck more money out of her so she can renew her green card. That's not right. That's not fair. Why every 10 years? Because she doesn't want to give up her land where she feels that she belongs to Uruguay instead of the United States, because that's where she grew up. That's what she knew. It's not fair and it's not right. The immigration system is broken and we need to fix it. But we need to reform immigration so people can be here legally and not have to stress about this. Do you know the financial burden it is on these people? Because a lot of them don't make a lot of money. So we need to bring better jobs so that our people have better jobs and more opportunities. California is the worst place for any business to be at. I want to fix that. I want to change some of that red tape out of it and bring industry back. Do you imagine if we brought the lumber industry back? I'll bring the lumber industry because I have history in it. If we bring lumber back here, you know what that does? You know, all these wildfires are going on right now. They're because our forests are overgrown, overbuilt. Nobody's cleaning them up. When the lumber industry was here, they clean up, they thin out our forests to make them healthier. So if there's a wildfire, we can get in there and we can get it before it spreads. Sounds like a simple solution, right? The only problem is that they tax these corporations so hard that there's cheaper for them to do business outside of California. We need to stop that. We need to bring industry back so our people have jobs and they can make a good living. We don't need to raise minimum wage. We just need to lower taxes and make inflation come down to where it belongs. People say, what about affordable housing? You hear that all the time. Well, if we stop raising minimum wage, we stop inflating. So houses will come down to where they're supposed to be. 1994, I rented a house, a 2-bedroom place with a 1-bath, $450 a month. I was making $12 an hour, and I thought I was King Kong. I mean, I'm living the American dream. I got a house, I got a car note, I got food in the refrigerator. I mean, come on.
I lost you there for a second, but hey, so you know, you're right. I live close to San Francisco. I live in Contra Costa, and it's becoming so hard for people to have a house here. And first-time home buyers have to buy a $700,000 house, and that's a lot, you know. And that's Contra Costa. If you go to Alameda, it's even worse.
Yeah,
it's close to $1 million. So for a new couple that I just got married that's out there looking for a house, it's too much. I think, and then a lot of investors came in with foreign money that are taking over the housing industry. You have a lot of people from China that are here buying everything. I don't know if capitalism has anything to do with that.
You know, I think we've allowed this to happen because we have created an inflation. Last time you go to McDonald's, Jack in the Box, Taco Bell, you can't eat for under $20. But you can't eat it for under $20 because the person making your food right now is making $15. We keep talking about minimum wage, minimum wage. Let's stop talking about minimum wage and talking about bringing better industry that pays better to everybody who's here. Let's talk about bringing corporations here where they pay a little bit more and we get more for our bang and our money. So that's what we have to do.
So what is the most pressing issues you see in California right now? I know that when Travis ran for governor, I was a Travis supporter. Actually, I created a Latinos for Travis page, and I was out there pushing his message. And then we got this guy from Chicago, John Cox, and then Trump endorsed him, and we lost a little bit of the momentum there, and a lot of the base. We were a little disappointed, but so do you see yourself lining up with Travis Allen's message, or where do you see yourself? Or
I see myself lining up with the California message. Better jobs, better education, tax cuts, because that's important to all of us. Safety. Being safe when you walk outside is one of the most important things that people talk about every day. And right now, people don't feel safe walking outside because of your skin color. All of a sudden, we went backwards in history. So my alignment is better jobs, tax cuts, and the number one thing that I'm running on is an immigration reform program so we can get that stigma off of us. What does that do? That generates more income for all of us once we fix the immigration program. So my message to everybody is we need to unite California. I don't care what party you belong to, because neither one of the two parties is doing anything to bring everybody together. We need to do it as human beings. We need to come together for a better future. I don't always have the right answers. Shoot, Marcos, you don't have the right answers. But guess what? If we sit down and we discuss both sides, the Democrats are going to have a good point. The Republicans are going to have a good point. The independents are going to have a good point. So if we can bring it all together and come to a common joint to making this better, we're going to come up with a better solution for everything that we have. And we have got to stop pushing the buck over. I read something this morning where somebody said, I got to get the federal government to give us more. Stop. California's problems aren't the federal government's problem. We've created it. So why do we pass the buck to the next person? My organization is about accountability. Californians, we created the homeless people. Whether we like it or not, we did it, right? You go to San Francisco and you can't go have a 5-star meal without watching somebody go to the bathroom in front of you. We created that. We have allowed it. Why do we want the federal government to come and clean up our mess? I'm tired of career politicians saying, well, the federal government didn't do this. No, sir, you didn't do it. It is our job to be accountable for our state, for our cities, for what we do. So if you're a governor, if you are a mayor, if you are any political figure and you want to move up in this world, fix your own backyard before you think you're going to fix the whole neighborhood. I keep a perfect example. Our governor right now. What was San Francisco before he became governor? The same that it is right now. Now we're looking at California being the same as San Francisco. So if you have a career politician or somebody who's in office right now and they're trying to run, look at their backyard. Look at what's going on there before we elect them, because if they could have fixed Stockton, San Diego, San Francisco, Marin, they can't fix anything because they can't even fix their own backyard.
I lost your camera.
Are you there?
I can hear you, but you don't have a camera. I'm here.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my. It says I need to restart for some reason. It clicked me off.
You can get out and come back if you want.
All right, give me 1 second.
Okay. Okay, guys. So there you have it. I'm gonna wait for him to come back. He's having some issues with his phone, I think. But basically, you can go to his page. It's Diego Diego Martinez for governor, and you can learn a little bit more about this guy has stepped up to the plate, and he is going to get Gavin Newsom some, he's going to give him a run for his money. And so this is, he has a Spanish, Facebook account and also English. So here is his platform issues. Let me see. I think he's back. I think you're back.
Oh no, I'm enjoying what you're doing. So go ahead, keep doing what you're doing.
No, I was just talking about your page, and so people can go and check it out and donate to the cause. So tell us, how did you decide to run for governor, and how did you, because you know what you're doing. I mean, somebody told me a while back, he said, Marco, if somebody's going to win in California, he has to be on our side. He has to be a Hispanic.
Well, Marcos, you know what's funny is I was driving with a buddy of mine. His name's Rico. And I was complaining. I was in my head complaining about everything that's going on. And I looked at Rico. I said, I'm going to run for governor. Rico laughed. I looked at him and said, no, I'm being serious. I said, it's time that we stop. I looked on the news today, and it was when Gavin Newsom decided to start throwing immigrants under the bus. And I'll say that. He threw us under the bus because he said, I'm going to give the illegals $125 million. And I'm thinking, like, my business is struggling right now. I'm a small business owner. I don't qualify for any of this. But why would you want to put a target on a certain race of people or a certain group of people? It wouldn't have been better for him to say, hey, we're going to help everybody in California who didn't qualify for the PPP or for the stimulus program. But no, he had to isolate these people. So it's like you're putting a target on these people's back. And I looked at my buddy Rico and I said, I've had enough. I said, I'm going to make a difference. I'm tired of our people getting brought down. I'm tired of our people being used as a punchline for Democrats and politicians to get theirs. We need to make a difference. And he looked at me and I said, I'm going to make the difference. I'm going to unite California. We're going to come together and we're going to do this. After that day, I just started working on it. I started figuring out what I need to do and where I need to educate myself so that I can make a solid platform so I can make a difference. People criticized me. They said, hey, you're running at a state level. You can't fix DACA. You can't fix immigration. We can, because it starts at the state level. Somebody has to stand up. Somebody has to say, hey, this is wrong, and push it over to the federal level. California is the leader. We are the flagship for 98% of the things that happen in the United States. Why wouldn't we want to lead immigration reform in the United States? We can do this. We have the highest rate of immigrants other than Texas. So why wouldn't we want to fix the problem? So that's why I decided to run. I'm tired of getting taxed. I'm tired that every time I go to the gas pump, it's funny. If you go gas up today, listen to the guy next to you. And he's going to go, oh, my God, I can't believe we're paying this. Well, we voted it because nobody explained to us how not to vote for that. Nobody educated us to say that dollar that you're paying a tax at the pump isn't going where it's supposed to be going. Yet we're looking at Prop 13, AB 5. We're losing jobs in California instead of creating jobs. You know what? That's why it takes a businessman to come in here and create jobs and say, stop with the nonsense. You want to tax us more, but you want to destroy our jobs at the same time. SB 10, which is coming up in November, it's the bail bonds measurement. Prop 22, they called it. I read it today. They want to do away with a industry that's self-sustained, yet they want the tax dollars to go into $1 billion a year in tax revenue to reform, to be able to allow criminals to get out with no cash bail. Well, if you didn't pay anything, the victim gets double victimized. So first you get victimized because your house got broken into, and then they're asking you to pay taxes so these people can be out of jail. It doesn't make sense. So you're going to take 10 to 20,000 people out of work and tax people. We're killing industry in California. Now, should there be a bail reform? The answer is yes. But the bail reform should be statewide. And what I mean by that is if you jump from one county to another for committing the same crime, your bail could be $20,000 difference. So instead of doing that, we sit down in California, we say from Northern California to Southern California, this is the bail schedule. You do the crime, you either pay the fine or you do the time. We have got to get back in the side of law and order. So with all that being said, I said, I'm going to do this. I know there's enough Hispanics here. I know I can do an immigration reform program. I know we can cut taxes. We just all got to unite and come and do it. So I'm a believer that if we all stand together, nobody can separate us.
Do you think that other governors or other candidates that are running for governors on other states, they identify with your message, especially like Texas, to do this work permit or somehow fix? Because in California we have the biggest problem with illegal immigration. There's the most illegal people are here, I think.
I think that once we do it in California, we do the platform, we do the blueprint. Either we're going to get more people trying to come into California and be productive members of society, or Arizona, Texas, those states will pick up and copy what we're doing. And that's why I need the federal government. You know, I said we need to stop asking the federal government for help. Unfortunately, immigration is a federal program. So for those reasons, we need the federal government involved. But we're going to lay the blueprint and we're going to lay the format. We are going to be the leaders in immigration reform program. We're going to be their test dummy per se, but we're going to make it work. And once we do it, Arizona will hop right on board especially once our crime and our illegal status goes down and more people and our revenue comes up from these working people that pay revenue into the federal and state level. You're going to see it grow. And as long as we do it right, the other states will follow. My vision is to make it a United States reform program, with California being the flagship of where we're going. Because if we can help people in California, they can Arizona, Texas, they can adapt what we're doing to help their immigration reform program.
What do you say to all those far right people that want to deport everybody, that would probably not agree with you, and some of them are on the right? What do you say to them? What I usually say is that, okay, you want to deport everybody. It costs about $40,000 to deport somebody. Where's the money going to come from? And if you deport a head of household, then you're going to have the kids that are going to stay here because they're citizens. They're probably going to go on state support. We're going to have to support the kids, 5 kids, right? So how do we make that make sense? That, hey, there is some people here that deserve to be have some kind of a legal status, some legal presence.
Marcos, what did you hear me say? We have to earn the right. What does the Republican Party stand for? Capitalism, people earning the right. So what I tell the people on the far right, there's 40 million illegals in the country. There's no way we could deport all of them. Why would we want to? When you go out to Watsonville, and I worked in Watsonville for a few years, so trust me, I know it. You drive through Watsonville, you drive through Hollister. What do you see at 5 o'clock in the morning? You see the farm workers, the field workers, how people want to describe us. How many white people do you see there? Very few, if any. So we need these illegal people, these immigrants, to help us maintain our economy. And it's been like that forever. The problem was that when this was manageable, we let it get out of hand. Now we have to bring it back in and let these people earn the right to their citizenship. They want to be here. They're productive members of society, but they shouldn't be scared every time they go to the store about getting deported. So I think
now, but see what something that happened in the 80s when my father became he got his green card. California went blue. And I don't know, out of those 4 million people that were admitted, became citizens, I don't know who dropped the ball, but I see very few, like me, for example. I'm grateful that Reagan did that. I used to call myself grateful son of Ronald Reagan. How do we do it so that these new citizens that we're gonna create do not turn on us and go blue? Or how do we do it? Should we just do like a work permit, like you said, 3 years, maybe 5 years, so that we test, make sure this people integrate successfully?
You know, a political party is your choice. We're not going to say, hey, we're going to help you get a green card so that you're a Republican. The Democrats are already doing that. You know, that's not freedom of choice. That's not why we come to the United States, right? We come here for a better future. I believe if we help everybody, they will make that decision to what best fits their life. And that's the right of being a U.S. citizen. That's the right of being in America. So how do we get them from blue to red, right? Because Ronald Reagan helped our family. If it wasn't for Ronald Reagan helping the immigration reform program when he did it, I wouldn't be here legally. Okay? And I appreciate Ronald Reagan more than most people know. I thought Ronald Reagan was a heck of a president. I think he did a great job. He lost a little bit when he got shot. A lot of people don't know that. There's not too many presidents that have been shot. I think 3, Lincoln, Kennedy, and Reagan. So when you look at that, I think that for us to turn people, like you call it, turn them from blue to red, I think we just got to educate people. We said it yesterday when we talked. A lot of our fundamentals as Latinos is Republican. You don't believe me? Go Main Street, Watsonville. Go to Cross Landing in Modesto. Go to downtown Center Street, Stockton. Go anywhere where a heavy population of Hispanics are. And what are we? Business owners. Go to the taco trucks. All these people are business owners. So they're technically Republican. They just don't understand the difference between the two parties. So our job is to educate them to what we're about. The Democrats Party is to educate them about what they're about. And those people get to make a decision.
You know what? I think that if you get a strategy to like you're doing and go with a simple pamphlet, a flyer that they self-identify themselves, they self-diagnose themselves. If you like this, and this, then you are this. I think that would be awesome because most of these people, they are being lied to by the Democrats. They are being deceived, emotionally seduced.
Well, when you look at Democrats, what do they say? Well, we're going to give you free insurance. We're going to give you, we're going to give you, we're going to give you. Stop giving. Let us earn it. Because when we come here, we know we come here to work. We come here to earn it. We come here to make a better future for us, for our kids, for the people that we left in Mexico, El Salvador, Guatemala, donde sea, wherever we left them. We're sending them money to make their living better, right?
Right.
They're not asking. We're not coming here and say, hey, I want this for free. So I think the other party's misleading people on what they are. But just like you said, we'll just take a check sheet. If you do this, 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 and this is the party for you. If you're about this is the party for you. So there is really joining us together, and that's what my message is about. Joining California together. Don't worry about the party lines right now. Don't worry if you are a Democrat. Don't worry if you're a Republican or an independent. We need to join together for a better future. If we don't figure out how to make a better future, there's going to be no California to make a future of. How many of us know what Venezuela turned out to be? Well, if we keep going the same route that we're going, welcome to the new Venezuela. And we're not about that, especially us, especially the Hispanic population. We've been there. We've seen it. We don't want to go to bed hungry anymore. We don't want to starve here. So we're going to do whatever it takes to succeed. And a lot of these people, I'll tell you flat out, because I meet a lot of them. Next Sunday when we go to the flea market, what are the people selling stuff? Immigrants. They're self-owners. They're business owners. Whether it's your little booth at the flea market, your booth at the mall, or your storefront, we're business owners. How do you not talk to people like that? Oh, I'm just a hustler, is what we hear. No, you're a business owner. You come to the flea market and you sell your DVDs every week. That's a business. You make a living out of it. You're a business owner. So you're more towards the Republican Party than you are towards the Democrat. Don't read in between that, because there are a lot of business owners that are Democrat. Don't understand why, but it's because maybe they were like me and they work for a union, and the union has always said you got to be a Democrat. So I think it's just misinformation of what each party stands for. So a little education, a lot of talking, and a lot of coming together. It doesn't matter if you're this side or this side. We need to unite California. And when you listen to both sides, people understand that you're willing to do that. So you're willing to explore different options. And I think that's where our future is. I think that's where we need to go, Marcos. I think that that's why people will vote for me, because I want to unite us. I don't care what color, race, creed. I don't care what your sexual preference is. None of that has nothing to do with you being a hardworking citizen of California. And that's what we got to get through our heads. We want a better future. It's the time to do the revolution, go on the streets, talk to people, and get them educated about what I'm about. Because I'm about joining us together.
So you've been doing live interviews. You've been doing Spanish and English, so people know. So you are reaching out to the Spanish market too.
Every day.
Awesome.
I'm fluent in Spanish. I've had a friend who has helped me get my Spanish a little bit better, because when you're born here, well, I wasn't born here, but when you come here as a little one and you don't speak Spanish, and where I'm at, there's not a lot of Hispanics. So your Spanish kind of starts going a little wayside. So I apologize to people, but I know Spanish. I'm getting, I talk it a lot better than what I used to 4 years ago. And I'm working just to make it better all the time. I listen to Spanish music. I watch novelas. And everything, most of my stuff I try to do in Spanish, because that's our heritage and we can't lose it. So sometimes when I speak Spanish and I start going, you see me it's not that I don't know what I'm saying. It's just that I just triple and I want to make sure I say the word right. So it's a little
I,
hilarious.
I saw you were talking about Los Tigres del Norte in one of your lives.
Uh, uh, Fui locutor por mucho tiempo.
Okay.
Y los Tigres del Norte are one of my favorite bands. Not only that, but they have a song that it's really defines us. You could go with Tres Veces Mojado. If you ever listen to that song and you know what the struggles are from coming from a country and crossing different countries and trying to get here, and how many people have died along the way, because we need to help those people make it a little bit better for them to be able to come legally. One of my favorite songs is La Jaula de Oro. And what that song says is very simple. Who cares what the jail looks like if the jail's made out of gold? Because that's the way that a lot of people who are here illegally or just even with a green card feel, because you have this beautiful house, you have this beautiful life, but you can't go outside and enjoy it. It's still a jail because you're still in that little box area. So yeah, Los Tigres del Norte, if you listen to them, their music is really strong and it talks about normal people, and I relate to it because we had to do it. And I know a lot of people that came from different countries, and I've talked to them about their journey here. And when you hear about some of the stuff that happens on their journey here, you listen to the music and you're like, yeah, I get it. I would have died if this guy named Juan didn't help me in Mexico. Even though we're the same color, we speak the same language, we're still illegal. And that's the truth, because that's what happens. So Los Tigres del Norte really move you in a lot of different ways if you listen to their music. But toda la música en español te mueve. Sea una cumbia, una banda, and they all talk about different stuff that we lived through it. El Jefe de los Jefes, they said, I like Los Tigres del Norte because they talk about the real music, and that's the truth, right? So, yeah, I listen to Los Tigres del Norte all the time.
We did a big, after Trump won, all the people in the movement, all the influencers, we did a big party. We called it the mother of all rallies in Washington at the Lincoln Memorial. And I was trying to somehow tell them, look, a lot of these people and people like myself, when you're born and raised in a third world country and you come here, your survival skills are off the charts. People that made it in Mexico City, so don't judge these people the same way that you judge people here. These people will do anything to survive, and so if you look at them in that way, you're gonna see why so many are work in the fields, if you give these people an opportunity to make things right, they'll do it right. But yeah, a lot of people say that the Bracero program before Reagan worked very good because people had work permits and they were able to cross the border and go home. So now they don't want to go home because they know they can't come back. So yeah, they're like being in jail, and we're forcing them to be in jail. It's like they're in shelter from Mexico. Yeah. And that becomes a problem because now these people are sending the money over there, and you're forcing them to live here legally. If they had a work permit, a lot of these people don't even want to be citizens. I see a lot of people that they just want to go back, but we're forcing them to be here. So our work permit will probably work better for a lot of people.
And with my immigration reform program, they'll have that opportunity to do that. See, my thing was, let's say the strawberry fields need 10,000 employees, but they only want them seasonal. We get 10,000 people that want to come over here and work seasonal, and then they have to turn back their work permit as they go back across the border. The following season, that work permit allows those people to come back. Do you follow me? So it's like your ticket in and out, but you have to leave it at the border. And then when you want to come back in a year, when they need you again, or in 6 months, you pick up the same work permit. As long as that company you did a good job and that company wants you to come back. But that will allow you to go back and forth and not have to worry about it. So 10,000 people come 1 year, they go back, they will need them the next season, they come back till 3 or 4, and then we figure out if they want to stay or they don't. But that's their choice. But just like you said, a lot of people don't want to go back because they're scared of coming back. They're scared that they won't be able to come back in the next season or la próxima temporada, como se dice. So we have to be able to manage that system a little bit better and work with it.
Yeah, because then you have a lot of people that are here illegally that are forced to kind of have a create a family here and live in a soft culture, and now they're in a very odd situation where they have kids here that are citizens, but they're not, and it's just it's I don't know, it's hard because if people could go back, maybe they don't want to create a family here. They'll just have a family there in Mexico and just come back in any other country and come back when they want to.
The whole immigration system needs to get fixed. And that's what I want to do. I want to fix the system to be able to allow people to be able to do exactly what you said and what I just talked about. Just come here, do their job, and go back. But those people that come here, they'll pay state taxes while they're working here because that's what we all do. So with the work permit, they'll be able to pay regular state taxes, regular federal taxes, get their money, and be able to go back home and then come back when the next season comes up. That is part of the immigration reform program that we can input in this. And that won't only work for us, that'll also work for Texas and Arizona, where they need seasonal employees, but they don't want them there all the time, or the people don't want to be there all the time. Nobody wants to be here illegally. I don't care who you are and who you talk to. Nobody wants to be here illegally. But this is being here illegally is better than what they had at home. So we have to be able to help these people stay here or be able to go back as they need to. And we have to fix immigration. That's the number one thing that California has got to do.
You know, I think we got some comments here. But you are like one of the only persons that have got the courage and the guts to talk about this. And I'll tell you, because Marco Rubio, I know one of his cousins, and even Ted Cruz, because they're afraid that every time they talk about this, they're not going to get the support. But you're not afraid to talk about it, and I think I'm curious on how people are going to react to that, because this topic, this issue needs to be talked about. You're talking about 40 million people. I mean, it's crazy. It's a big deal.
Nobody wants to talk about it because nobody wants to say, well, the American citizen, the Californian that are here legally, they don't support this. I believe that we all support it, but we support doing it the right way. And I want to do it the right way. I want to fix immigration so these people are doing it the right way, so that we're helping them do something.
We support it because we are being part of it. I mean, we eat. There are clients, and at the beginning, I used to talk a little bit about this. So you have insurance agents out there that have a lot of these people that are their clients. You have mortgage brokers. You have car dealerships that are selling them cars. We're selling them food. So they're performing assets for a lot of us. But we don't want to give them back anything. So it's like, I don't know. It's like a form of slavery, and we're all okay with it.
I think nobody wants to talk about it because nobody wants to address it because it's a bigger subject in the state of Texas. I mean, this is a huge subject. And like I said, I need the federal government to help me fix it, but we're going to fix it. We're going to find a solution for this. I'm going to make it a Sacramento. I'm going to be the governor in 2022 if the recall doesn't happen sooner. Okay? Mark my words. And I don't care if I have to go into every flea market, every Walmart, every Lowe's, every drugstore around. I'm going to get on the back of my pickup and we're going to talk about this because this is a subject that needs to be addressed and it needs to get fixed. Guess what? If I don't win, what are they going to say? Oh, remember that guy that ran on immigration reform? Well, that's better than the guy who ran going to DMV and telling everybody, I'm going to fix this and had no plan on how to fix it and just kept handing out waters and going home. Well, guess what? We have a solution for this, and we're going to stand out and we're going to tell what our solution is. But that's not the only issue that we're running on. You fix immigration and you can fix tax reform in California. So why wouldn't you want to? Because if I get 2.5 million people to pay their fair share of taxes, I can lower California taxes. It's a win-win for everybody. So why wouldn't you want to help? Why wouldn't you want to be part of the solution? Stop being part of the problem. Let's be part of the solution. I don't need people going around saying that you're not wearing a mask today. I don't need snitches. I need help fixing the problem. We need fixing solutions, and we need to do it at the state level and push it to a federal level.
Look, what Diego's talking about here, guys, there are people here in the Bay Area that I know because I'm real estate and they used to come to me for me to qualify them that make $300,000 a year on a 10 number, and they don't do taxes because they don't have to. So we can be capturing their fair share of those $300,000, but we're not. They're sending it to Mexico. And so if you fix that, yeah, you can fix tax reform, because now the people will pay their fair share, and it'll be better for the tax for everybody's tax issues.
Now, take that just in consideration what we just said, right? How about Social Security? We have people sucking it out, but not enough money coming in. Social Security is like a big giant. You got to keep feeding. Just think about having 2.5 million more people paying into Social Security. Now, can we help the people who are on Social Security, give them a small raise, make sure that their cost of living is going better? Because the generation right now paying for Social Security is for the generation before us. Their next generation, so I talk about 2.5. In 10 years, there'll be 5 million people paying their fair share that we didn't have before. Do you imagine them paying into Social Security? So now you don't have to make $500-600 in Social Security. We can raise that, and people can make a better living. How about your medical? All the stuff that you're giving for free is no longer free. These people are paying into it. We could fix medical. Imagine that. I mean, I have a plan on how we can do this. If we can fix an immigration reform program, we could do a tax reform program, a health medical reform program, because all that money and all that health care can go to people who are paying taxes. I mean, let's wake up, California. It's time to unite. Let's do a reform immigration, reform taxes. Let's do this. No, I'm not Bernie Sanders. I'm not giving nothing for free. This isn't free America, folks. I'm talking about earning it. There's a difference there. I'm talking about getting 2.5 million people to pay their fair share of taxes. Not Bernie Sanders, not giving nothing away. Sorry. This isn't the welfare line.
The thing is, they're already making that money. Whether we do or don't do anything, these people are already making those hundreds of thousands of dollars, and we're not seeing anything. They're building houses back in their country because they don't see the need to build them here because we're not accepting them, right? A work permit would work perfect, I think. I don't know about
the guy who makes $300,000 a year, doesn't have a work permit, doesn't have anything. He's not going to buy a house in California. He's not going to help California because he's sending that money to Mexico, El Salvador, Guatemala, wherever he's from. So when they deport him, he's going to go over there and live like a king.
Yeah.
And we missed the boat. So why not reform immigration, get these people to pay their fair share, earn the right to be here, and help the rest of the economy? Now, that's not...
And because he doesn't file tax returns on those $300,000, he's saying that he makes a lot less, and then he's getting help also. He's getting benefits from government.
Right. So I like that comment. Somebody says I sound like Bernie Sanders. I don't. The difference between me and Bernie Sanders, I want these people to earn it. I'm not giving anything away. Bernie Sanders owns 3 houses. He wants to do socialism. He wouldn't give up 2 of his houses, so he's really not a socialist. I'm not lying here. I want these people who are already working, already making money to pay their fair share of taxes, so we don't have to give them insurance, so we don't have to give anything. People have to earn the right to be here. That's why they came to the United States, to earn something, not be given anything. Join the revolution, and let's help these people earn the right and pay taxes like the rest of us.
He says we need to tax the corporations. But anyway, so we're running a little bit out of time. We're running out of time here, but I really want to go and stream that flea market. I'm very interested. I really want to go and talk to Juan, Pablo, and Pedro. I want to be there and interview a few of these guys and tell them about you and ask them what they think, because that is where the conversation starts, and they will tell you how to fix California. I know it. If you hit every flea market, you will get a new a new uh, a new wave of voters that will bring solutions to these problems.
So I tell you what, today we are on the 3rd, tomorrow's the 4th, the 5th. On July 12th, we're going to be at the flea market at El Dorado Street in Stockton. I'm going to be there all day. I'm going to get there at 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning, start the flea market, and I'll leave at 5. You are more than welcome to come join us. Let's stream it. Let's ask these people the questions. Let's ask them. And they'll tell you themselves, yeah, we work, but we don't claim taxes, and we get medical for free. Why would we want to claim it? I mean, my family in Mexico is living very good.
I talked to them, and they said, no, we don't want to report it because they'll take away our benefits.
So why not help these people reform immigration, get them to pay their fair share, get them off government programs, and live the American dream?
Exactly. Be part of society, have a social status, become one of us, and they'll probably, they'll think differently of this country. What happens is right now they're in the shadows, and I don't know. But hey, so can you say like a 60-second, 2 minutes of who you are, what you're running for, and so I can tweet it later and post this link to it.
Diego Martinez. I come from Uruguay. I'm an immigrant. I'm running in the Republican ticket, and I'm running for immigration reform, tax reform programs, tax cuts for the American people and the California people, and I'm going to help fix the homeless problem that we have here in California. I say fix, not Band-Aid. My name is Diego Martinez. I'm running for 2022 Governor of California. A toda la gente latina, los vamos a ver este próximo domingo en la ciudad de Stockton, California, el 12 de junio, aquí, de julio, discúlpame, el 12 de julio en Stockton, California, en la Pulga del El Dorado. Ahí los vemos.
Yeah, I will be there. Diego has invited me, and I'm going to be streaming for the True Channel. And I am so interested in talking to this average American out there that we're going to bring the voice and reason of this people, because they are the ones that are going to help Diego fix the problems here in California. Thank you for... Sí, ya. Por su atención, muchas gracias. Quédese con nosotros. Volvemos más tarde. Hasta pronto.